I guess we didn't do an intro, but whatever. Welcome in, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into another stream. If you guys are new here, here's what we do. On the in the mornings we come in. Sorry, let me grab a drink of water real fast. Let me before I fucking go on. Last night we outlined NQ, went over what price did, what we can do going into that overnight session. If you remember, we talked about this 15-minute fair value gap that we had above. So price tapped into it, rejection off of it. We displaced that previous daily low and saw that continuation right into that New York or right into that previous weekly range. And right now, price is tapping into that 786. So in the morning, we come in here, we take a look at the price action, see what it did overnight, and see what we can do go into that New York session, because we focus on the interaction between the two sessions and see where price can take us. So from here right now, we were outlined this already inside our Paper Traders Discord. So if you're not in there, make sure to come check us out. But we were watching, the main thing was watching that 1550 EMA and watching this range OTE. So right now the 786 has been tapped and we hit that 1550. If we displace below these levels, we're going to see a nice continuation to the downside, possibly into that previous weekly low. On the 5-minute, watching for a potential reversal out of here as the interaction between the London session and New York session over here, right? You can take a look at over here. Asia session saw a range, London session manipulation to the downside, so New York session can possibly see that reversal to the upside. So that is what we're going to be watching here, seeing how price is interacting here and see what we can do. So other than that, we're just kind of chilling, listening to music, seeing where price is taking us, right? Right now, I would watch for potential maybe a retest of this right there, right? Just want to see how this next hourly opens up and where it wants to go, because on the 4-hour, we are still looking like target is over here somewhere. Other than that, we're just kind of chilling, taking some trades, fucking around, waiting for price to do his thing before we take anything. There's some good LR up above, so there's potential. There's potential on the upside. VIX is rising over here at the bottom, so that was nice, right? On the 1 minute, didn't necessarily have anything that gave us a decent enough entry, so it didn't take any longs. Good reversal, right, out of here, so maybe next 15 minutes, come back, retest this 12-hour level to now show it as resistance, right? Because previous support and previous liquidities are going to turn into those liquidities. The logic behind it is that, right, over here you have a lot of people that are either have their stops over here or have a lot of entries over here, right, at these big liquidities. So if somebody bought over here, they likely have their order just sitting there now, right? They got stopped or they got filled over here and then the trade went against them. So the likelihood of it coming back, retracing over here, right, and rejecting off of it, there's some likelihood of that happening, because those people are going to want to come back to that entry and then exit out of it. So that is going to provide some more selling pressure for us to continue to the downside. So let's see what price does from here. Other than that, still watching price and what it does on these 5-minute time frames. You open up. You hourly opened, and one of the biggest things why we were watching that downside is because price was consolidating over here, and typically what we don't do from consolidations, we don't reverse from consolidation. So we needed one more move to the downside before a solid reversal. So this is why over here now we can start potentially thinking about a reversal, right? We do have some news coming out at 8 a.m. or 30 minutes into the market open. 8 a.m. for me, for me, 10 Eastern. So we're just going to be watching here what price does. A lot of it is just coming down to patience right over here on the 5-minute. Can just take a look through the price section of the overnight session. Over here, price swept. We had an SFP, so they gave us a nice little entry over here on that order block. Continuation to the downside. Could have taken this 15-minute fair value gap right there. Retest of that. Continuation to the downside. And they gave a decent trade. We're tapping into this 15-minute fair value gap as well as this one too, actually. Hold on. Could outline this guy right there. That's held this before and is holding us again right now. So if we want to continue to the downside, we need to displace those two. See what they do from here on the hourly. Possibility, yeah, like I said, we're going to be watching that 25,729 level, see what price does there. Because I'm not sure, right? Here, we can either reverse, come back through it. We would need to get back through this consolidation range in order to continue to the upside into the Asia session if that's what we're targeting. As there are a few equal highs right there and that previous weekly high right there too. But also, if we displace these levels, there's that previous weekly low and a lot of liquidity that's still resting down on the downside. Let's see. Let's see what they want to do out here. Just kind of chilling, kind of hanging around. If you guys got any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Tag me, put it in the chat. See what we got going on here. Just waiting, watching, waiting. That previous 15-minute low doesn't necessarily have to get swept. As long as this closing price of that hourly holds, there's a good idea that we can come back to the upside out of here, right? Because we have that 1550 MA, we have that OTE of that range. So, but like we said, we're also going to be watching this range right here and seeing what do they want to do when we reach that, if they do. This price can reverse easily from there. So 5-minute right now, getting a little bit of a reversal. Maybe a reversal from here. Just another sweep, another leg to the downside, and then reverse at 9:30 as the market opens up. Because right, new 30-minute just opened up as well, which 30-minute still looks a little. So we're here if we're watching this on the 1-minute. Oh, sweep here. We have a small little fair value gap there, potential. We can look maybe if they hold that OTE, there's potential for continuation to the upside here. But for right now, it might be. A minute. Let's see if they can get above the closing price or the opening price of that candle. Gonna go some potential for some shorts. like I said, still got, 30 minutes, 25 minutes until market opens up. Whenever markets open up, the first 15 minutes, they typically give you some sort of tap into something. At least that is on the 15 minutes. They typically will tap into some kind of liquidity, and then from there we can see either reversal or continuation to the downside. All right, so 15 minutes is what we're going to be watching here going into that 9:30. See, we can try. It's like a 1-1 R. I think it might be a continuation here of this move. Something. There's some good tunes. See, this 15 minute needs to like gush on the next 5 minutes if we were looking for a sweep of that low right there. Some decent liquidity still on the upside, right? Just more curious to see what they do on this hourly here. Below that 1550, if you guys are new to us, 1550 EMA is kind of like our trend indicator. Every time we get above it, we see a solid move to the upside, right? But every time we are below it, we see just absolute fucking chaos. So let's see how they want to play this out going into this new year, especially on this weekly candle, given that this week is going to open halfway through. Yeah, this weekly candle is opening up halfway through. It's going to be into the new year. That's still about an 8. 1-to-1 here. So if you wanted to, you could have taken this as a potential trade that you could be looking at right now. Let's give them that. The next 15 minute will give us a continuation, or the next 5 minute will need to gush to the downside for us to continue lower. We're watching what price is doing. Right. Always want to see and make sure we're watching price and not trading off of our bias. It's based on the charts. Charts are what we trade. We don't trade our emotions. We don't trade our bias. We trade our charts, what's in front of us. Right. We're realizing, okay, what does price want to do here? Not what do we want price to do? Yeah, I might want a sweep before that, but realistically, price is just still just kind of ranging here. I'm not gonna be, rushing into it. Said right. So we just want to wait and see. Let me, I guess, while we wait, I can show you. 15-minute stuff that I'm talking about. Let's pull up the 15-minute. Let's see, we'll do like a few random days. Typically 9:30, right? There's our 9:30. You see that move to the downside. Comes down pretty close to it. Didn't sweep. We retrace back into this range, but we were still rejecting this fair value gap right there. So, of course, we sweep that again. Continuation to the downside. Another 15-minute over here, 9:30. Right, we see an initial tap into this order block right there, and then get that continuation to the downside into that 80 session. or into that London session right here, 15-minute. Where is that? 15-minute right here, right? Similar thing. Tap into this order block, into that range over here. No continuation above it, so we get that reversal back to the downside. So that's why it's important for us to watch that 15-minute, because it's going to give us either an open low high close or open high low close, and kind of be a telltale sign of what we want to do. Same thing here, right? Right here, price comes up. We don't sweep, but we're staying below that closing price of the previous candle, which gives us that reversal to the downside. Given that Asia session, London session, both saw that consolidation to the upside. That LRLR, typically when they run that model, we see a nice sell-off going into the New York session. 15-minute, another 9:45. That's 9:30. Right, initial move to the upside, not necessarily on the next 15 minutes. Sweeps the low of that candle. As soon as you see price starting to pop above the closing price of the previous candle, you can confidently take some longs, right? And over here, as we said previously as well, once we start seeing price get above the 50% of a certain candle range, then we're going to be looking for an outside candle. That is once one of the extremes of a candle is swept, right? So once an extreme of a candle is swept, look at that 12-hour, right? There's that rejection. Just exactly what we were talking about in the 12-hour here. As well, if you were inside a Discord with us last night. So came back to our entry again, see what they do on this next 15-minute. That's going to give us a fair value gap over here. Now, if this candle closes like that, so there's a potential for us to come back into that fair value gap, retest it, reject back to the downside, but see how aggressive they want to make it. Let's see. Pre-market stuff on some of these. We're opening up a little lower on, okay. Oracle is opening to the downside. That SFB there. COSP is opening above the close. ABT opening up nicely up above. AMT is opening lower. Lockheed kind of staying the same. Costco, same thing, just about where. Brain market MA 579. Target, like I said, above that 99.55, above that 99.49. Realistically, we would see a good continuation. Octa. CA Ulti. When CMG at 37. So look at that, right? We got our, so that trade that we were looking at about to get stopped. Let's see what CMG monthly looks fucking good. RCL love, potential retrace down. Just taking these away so that going into the next year I can see what Clearo price wants to do here. On DG, fucking solid. Run to the upside on this bitch. DKG, oh, sorry, DG, let me maybe. DraftKings, all retest continuation. MSTR, still waiting on MSTR. Probably going into the new year, we can see something on this bad boy. Tune into our stream on Thursday, Friday next week to see what price. We're going to go over some quarterly levels, see what price wants to do and where we want to go. So there's that fair. Oh, there's that gusher to the downside. Look at that 15-minute. I guess if you were. Look at that fucking that's some aggression. Clean that OT right up. That's what we were talking about. That aggression, that aggressive move. There we go. That previous hourly low has been swept. So let's see what they want to do out of here. We get news. Like, look at it. Finance juice, finance. Financial juice. No, nothing. That was just a fucking seller. Just like to gush it to the downside after a nice consolidation. All right, we're still rejecting that 5-minute. Just couldn't close above that. Let's see if they hold that closing price, or if they hold that low here, that SFP, then we can see potential for a reversal, right? But we're still waiting for the next 15-minute candle. Waiting for that market to open up. See what price is doing. We got 10 more minutes until market opens up, until we get either continuation to that previous weekly low or reversal back into the upside, into potentially Asia session, London session highs, right? Just based on our daily plan. But we can also see just a straight continuation. One thing that we need to know is that we don't reverse from consolidation. So over here you can see that we did sweep. No displacement through that. Now we're looking like a gush of that to the daily NQ fair value gap. We tapped into it over here, so we're seeing that reversal now. And there's our 12-hour fair value gap cooked through that. Couldn't hold above this one, so possibility for that previous weekly low being the target is very likely. Let me take a look at US 100. US 100. Monthly US 100 looks fucking rough. Looks like they're watching this thing. US 100. If they give us that 5-minute SFP, we can look for something. Possibility of closing through this 1-minute fair value gap, then we can see a potential into a reversal. Otherwise, more downside. Was the low on this candle? 656.75, 675. It's two equal lows here. Let's see what they do. $10 minutes until market opens up. Hourly is looking a little better now. This open's going to be aggressive. Let's see. Let's see. 8 minutes so far, seeing a rejection out of here. So can't get through that 1 minute fair value gap. See what they do on the next 15 minute. That's gonna be my biggest thing. Let's see. So we got that SFP, but for them to clear that, right? For us to confidently buy, we want to be above this high for us to, if we're looking for a continuation to the upside. That's where we stand here. They probably might want to come back and retest this area into that 25.79. Potentially. Waiting to see. Let's see what they do here. Waiting to see what they want to do. Almost out of coffee too. Need 5 minute opening up. So they're cooking through that 1 minute fair value gap now. That gets displaced. Potential retest of the 1 minute inverse and the continuation. At least into here, right? At least into that 25.729. And then we're gonna watch for a reaction around that level. If they get through it, we can look for a reversal continuation to the upside. If they reject it, then obviously we're going to be looking at continuation to the downside here. I'm liking the way that this price is now. Swept the previous hourly low. We're holding. Price can get above the closing price of this previous hourly candle. Holding that 786. That looks decent enough. Higher, lower time frame. That is a confirmed low. Look, yeah, 786 is right about there. Okay, perfect. If that is the low. So there we go. So we got that 1 minute displacement here. Let's see. Nope, they still don't want to close it above that yet. So bodies are still closed. Oh, no, we did close it. Okay, cool. No, right now you have a potential to. Two to one. So it's 15 minutes. Let's see this next. They open this thing up. Can gush it to the upside immediately after the open too. Or if they do any sort of retrace on the downside, we're going to be watching for that. Just see what they do on the upside here. There's that, right? So if they displace this over here, then we can see continuation into it. Potential continuation. See, I'm curious how they open up this next 15 minute. 2 minutes till market opens up. Get through 50% of this hourly outside hour. But we can also reject that 25.71175 area. So far, nice move. Nice SFP there. 5-15 minutes. Got 10 seconds till market opens up. See what they want to give us here. So run on the downside. Rejection right off of that, 50% of that previous hourly. 50. Right, look at that. Cleared up all of that shit. So they might want to do one more sweep here on the 1 minute. These lows being there. Trade did get an entry on the 5 minute. if you're looking at it. They're holding that. We need to close above that 5-minute this level right there for us to continue to the upside. Otherwise, this is going to get nasty. Let's see if that's what they give us here. Two more minutes until this 5-minute closes up. Okay, you got your trade right there too. Did get a little bit of drawdown, but let's see what they do on this 15-minute. Back below that, we got that SFP now. Drink water. 5 more minutes. Okay. See what they do on this thing. Through the 50% of this hourly potential for outside hour. 30 minutes, still iffy. Still interesting looking. Just a new 5-minute candle. If they want to come back, retest any of this over here. The 15 minutes strong though. There we go. And we just filled our trade. There's the 5-minute, 15-minute. Nice, look at that. That was solid. That was a solid fucking reversal. God damn. They are fucking cranking this thing. Session highs. Outside 4 hour too. Damn. That's OTE for ya. That will probably do it. We took our trades. We fucked around. And that. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tuning in. As always, if you want to see more, give it a like, give it a share, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Why am I so zoomed in? God damn. What the fuck? What the hell?